Hello and welcome to the main event episode 2. I'm so overwhelmed with the response and feedback I got from the first episode, and I would like to say a huge thank you to everyone who listened and continues to do so. Your support and engagement with this podcast is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm just going to dive right in, so here's Rein It In. I'm just going to start this section with a little bit of BreaFest 2022 news. So, Brea have released an absolute snowstorm of special runs, limited editions and more sneak peeks for BreaFest. I'm only going to touch on each briefly in order of my favourite to least favourite. Of course the surprise is right at the top because I love the surprise reveals every year. This year it's the rotating draft surprise in reference to beer. This has been a lot of speculation already as to what it's likely to be. Personally, I would love a Shannondale surprise. Chablis is a limited edition or store special and is a dappled bay on the Idicus mould. His colour is just divine, it's so rich and has so much depth. Rapunzel is a special run and is a red roan on the Astrid mould. She's absolutely stunning and I really love this main variation. Elby and Brie are a Bay Tobiano mare and foal set on the new stock mare and foal moulds. They're really cute. I'm still waiting on my Firefly and Hawkeye to be able to judge the mould, but I really love that foal so much. Brahms is a special run and is a black leopard on the Big Ben mould. He's gorgeous in gloss, and although I don't actively conga Big Ben, I think this model is gorgeous. The next limited edition is Chardonnay, who is a cute chestnut on the Flash mould. His colour has so much depth, and his tail is such a beautiful fade from chestnut to grey. Marzipan is a lovely Palomino Sabino on the Wyatt mould and is a special run. I really like his colour, but I don't actually own any Wyatt models, so I don't know if I like them in person or not. Stein is a stunning Grello on the Fireheart mould. He's a special run, and I'm really pleased about this more subtle colour on him. The Gummy Bears are a special run of 3 bears in red, yellow and green and are scented like gummy bears. I absolutely love this concept, I think it's so creative. I'm not sure how I feel about Franz. He's a blue decorator on the Spirit mould. I'm sure a lot of people will love this guy, but he's just not really for me. I touched on Montanara and Lenda in the previous episode, and I just have to say that the Gambler's Choice stablemates are wonderful, and I fully ISO all of them. The Celebration model also makes me very happy, and I absolutely love him. Looks like I'm attending Virtual BreaFest this year, and might be looking for pickups at cost. On to some Brea West news. So Brea West tickets are now on sale and will be held in February on the 25th to the 27th. It features live shows and a glossy Lionel on the Cantering Warm Blood mould. It looks like a really fun event and I hope that all those who are going have a great time. In the last episode, I asked what the best way to get in contact with Brea's customer service for international collectors is. You guys absolutely pulled through, and I now have tested this method and managed to get my Stablemate Club ponies shipped after 6 weeks. You can call Brea using Skype, and if you have a subscription to Microsoft Office 365, Skype minutes are completely free. This is a great way of cheaply calling Brea's customer service, which actually makes them answer rather than countless unanswered emails. That wraps up the news section of this podcast. I know that there was a lot to get through there, and I'm sure that Brea will keep revealing models over the next few weeks for BreaFest. If you have any model horse news you'd like to share, get in touch with @Amber's Corner Stables on Instagram. Welcome to this episode's Spur of the Moment. I've been really good recently about my Spur of the Moment buys, and I've only had 2 recent ones since the last episode. The first is a micro artist resin by Sunny Equine Art. I bought a copy of Arcus and I'm now trying to decide on an artist and which colour to have him done. I also have a little eBay find. He's a black leopard on the Action Stock Horse foal mould and I've called him Artie. Anna Sonata Art on Instagram wrote to me to tell me about their Spur of the Moment buy, which is a Peter Stone Arabian. They're having some difficulty figuring out who the model actually is, so if anyone with a Peter Stone Archive membership could help them figure it out, drop them a message. I'm sure they'd really appreciate it. If you have any new models that you're really excited about and would like to feature in this section, drop me a message. This episode's centre of attention features a model that was my ultimate grail since he was released as part of the Premier Club in 2018. Bristol is potentially one of my favourite models ever. Everything from his colouring to his position is just exquisite. I've named my model Equal Respect, aka Bristol, and I bought him after seeing his ad on Facebook from a seller in the US. Luckily, he jumped customs, so I didn't have to pay an extortion to get him here. He arrived in July 2021 with his certificate of authenticity still in its original packaging. He's a Dun Tobiano with lots of black spots on his legs and his white markings, which is such a nice touch and such a good level of detail. I also love his nose pinking, it's so cute. My model's mapping is slightly off and quite uneven, which makes him look almost dirty in some places, which is such a shame as the rest of him is just lovely. He looks really good in photos though, which I am really pleased about. He's done fairly well in photo shows thus far, and I'm hoping to take him out to a live show in the future. So I'm here with Freya Sport on Instagram. So what have you got for me today? Have you got a particular model you'd like to talk about?
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So I recently took place in the Collector Club Appreciation event, and I got a few traditional models and a stablemate. So the traditionals that I got was Avatar's Jazzman.
Oh, nice.
He's the first on that mould for me. I have a feeling that he's going to start an obsession on that.
Are you thinking about getting like Chardonnay as well from Breyerfest?
Yeah, he's a must-have for me from Breyerfest.
I think he's gorgeous.
The glossy that I got was actually my least favourite, but it's starting to grow on me now. I got the Fighting Stallion.
Oh, cool, yeah. I've got him in matte, and I'm really pleased with him.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be initially, but I actually really like him.
I don't think I would have ever actually went out and bought the matte one, but now that I've got the glossy, I think that he could be staying.
I think there's some at Hot to Trot. The only 70th anniversary. I couldn't remember the name then. They've got left. Do you have like any particular congas? Like I know you said the first one you have on the flash mold is Avatar's Jazzman, but like do you conga any others?
So usually I like to collect in congas. I feel like it makes my shelves look neater.
Yeah.
My biggest conga at the minute is my Smarty Jones conga. I think I've got 7 of those.
Oh wow, which ones do you have?
We've got the Halloween Horse, Frankel, Secretariat, the original Smarty Jones, the Polo Pony, and I've got 2 of the 2018 Dark Horse Surprises as well.
Oh, cool. Are you hoping to get any more of the surprise models?
I'm not really a fan of the black, but I think the other one that I need is the Bay Tobiano.
Cool.
So at some point, hopefully, we'll get him, but we'll have to wait and see.
That's really cool. Who's your favourite model?
It changes every day which one's my favourite. I think that True North is a good contender for the favourite spot.
Yeah, definitely. Quite like to have that model. He's brilliant.
I got mine for a really good price as well.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Another favourite, I think, I really like my Nakotas. So my original Nakota is one of my favourites that I've got at the minute.
I see you have 3 behind you. Which ones? I can't see it like clearly. Which ones do you have?
I've got Nakota, Cheveo, and Isadora Cruz, who's actually a mare. I didn't realise that she's a mare and the rest of the stallions.
I didn't realise they had the variation on that mold.
No, I just thought they were all stallions, but no, she's a mare.
Oh, did not know that. I know that was a pretty mean question.
I know they're all. I love them all. I can't pick one.
Do you have any other like larger congas?
My True North conga, I've got all of them that I can afford. We've got Ichabod Crane, True North, Danny, Lionel, and Catch Me.
That's a good conga going there. I like that.
Really wish that I could get that glossy Lionel from the event this year.
Oh yeah, Breyer West. Oh, he's beautiful. I saw him on the Breyer blog the other day and was just kind of like, oh, I'm really upset I'm not in the US and can't go to that. So do you have any hobby goals for 2022? Are you looking into doing some painting, some more YouTube stuff?
Yeah, so I'm not really artistically creative or anything. I don't do customs or tack making or anything like that. It's just not in my set of skills. I would like to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube, so I'm going to have to get working hard at some content on there. I would also really like to get out to a few live shows. I've never done it before, so I think that would be a good experience to step it up from photo showing as well.
Oh, definitely. I've been to a couple of live shows like a little while ago now, but it's a really great experience and something I really, really enjoy. And I hope you manage to get out to some at some point.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually meet everybody in person.
Yeah, definitely. Although when I went, I wasn't really on social media when I was kind of going back in 2017. And so I kind of met a load of people in person and now don't really know who they are online, which is really interesting. But
yeah.
So do you have any plans for like when you're live showing, are you going to do any performance setups or anything?
I would like to do some performance at some point. I don't have any tack or riders or anything at the minute, but I love looking at people's setups on Instagram. They're so interesting, and it's just crazy how skilled people are at actually being able to make this tiny tack for a model.
No, I gave it a go the other day and was like, you know what, in 2022 I'm just gonna have a go at making some tack, and then absolutely butchered it. I was like, maybe I won't give that a go again.
No, I've not even attempted it. I used to make like rugs and stuff as a child for the models that I would play with, but that's as far as tack making would go for me.
I made some rugs out of felt one time and then just in the fronts, and oh no, I think I was about 8 at the time. Oh, it was
piece of elastic underneath the tummy.
Yeah. So do you have any grails that you'd like to get?
I have so many things that I would like to add to my collection, not necessarily for this year, so that would be far too unachievable, but I know it's basic, but I would like to have an Alborozo at some point, just to say that I've got one. He's gorgeous in that traditional mould.
He's absolutely beautiful. I really, really would like to get one of those if I can, but they're all getting customized, and I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, stop customizing them. But
because the customs are so nice as well. But
I
need no extra.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh, Altenai.
Yes,
I love him
as well.
I got Uffington from Briarfest last year. Mm-hmm. Mine doesn't stand, but he's gorgeous, and I need him to have a brother.
Yeah, I'm in the same position. I got Uffington as my first on that mold and was like, I need all of them.
Do you have Altenai?
No, I don't. I'm still looking for them at a good price, but they're all really expensive in the UK at the moment.
I'm not in the Premier Club, but I'm really starting to get into those more like detailed models. So I'd also really like to have Latigo for my Latigo Conga as well.
That would be really cool. I was in the Premier Club last year and I signed up again for this year.
Okay.
You know, student loan permitting, but so yeah, all of the models. I haven't received my Hawkeye Firefly yet.
Oh right, okay.
Still waiting on those, but the rest of like my Astrid is just beautiful. I've been really lucky with her.
Do you get your Deluxe Collect Club stablemate yet or not?
I wasn't in the Deluxe Club for this past year, but I've signed up for it this year, so I haven't received that one.
I'm still waiting for my little stablemate.
Oh, he's a little Alborozo, isn't he? And
yeah, he'd be my first stablemate on that mold.
Beautiful. I was really tempted to sign up for him.
I can't wait to see him in person, but I have no idea where in the world he is, if he's even being shipped at this point or not.
No. Definitely give them a call. I mean, I don't know whether you know about the Skype trick. Where like if you have Skype, you have a couple of free minutes every month or so, and you can call internationally with it without it like completely free.
Oh, that's so much better than trying to email. I feel like the emails just go unnoticed at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I never get a reply when I email. My international stablemate collector club stablemates weren't shit until I was like constantly calling them.
Yeah.
And such a nightmare. But yeah, definitely give that trick a go because it really helps. Is there any like side of the hobby that you are particularly interested in?
I think a big part of the hobby for me is being able to photo show.
Hmm.
Um, other than making content for YouTube and TikTok, I don't that often get my models off the shelf to appreciate them. And I think that photo showing helps me be more grateful for the ones that I have rather than thinking about the models that I want.
Hmm. I completely agree. So I have like a larger collection. I've never sold any models, so I've just kind of only been collecting.
Black hole collecting.
Yeah, it's just every gift giving occasion. I'm just like, can I just have plastic ponies, please? Um, but yeah, so it's always nice to like take one off the shelf that you haven't looked at in maybe like a year or so. You can appreciate it much more when you do like renewed photo show pictures.
Yeah,
And like when
definitely.
that particular model places that you wouldn't expect necessarily, and it's
Yeah,
just yeah.
it's like, oh, I've actually got this model.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really
Yeah, so I
lucky.
feel like it's such a big part of the hobby is obviously getting new models and models that are just being released, but it is nice to look at what you have and be happy with those.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any Shannondale models?
No, but I have um entered for that new birds. Oh, I can't remember the
Oh,
series.
yeah.
The Collector Club series that they do.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
I don't know his name now.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but like the chestnut Sabino, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
I've never really like considered or looked at getting anything on the Shannondale mold. Um, Other than Othello, I'm not really into the draft horses, but I seen that and I was like, I need that.
That's fair.
Like he's so nice.
He's really pretty. He's just got such a nice color. Like he's quite red orange.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
think that the color shows off. Like he's got such a kind looking face, and I think that color just really like makes that happen for me. Like I need him on my shelves.
yeah. Oh, I'll be so envious if you manage to get him.
Yeah.
So in your collection, like you said, you don't really collect drafts and stuff, but what kind of type of horse do you tend to collect? What's most in your collection?
I think at one point it was sport horses, and that was what I liked, like hence my name, Briar Sport. But I think at the minute I've got more stock horses, so we might need to use a name change.
I
But
was going to ask you about your username and what made you come up with it.
yeah, just well, I used to be a riding instructor, and before I'd done that, I'd done riding lessons, and I used to ride two Irish sport horses. One was called Connor, and one was called Texas. So
Oh,
it kind of came from that.
oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah,
Everyone has such a different story when you ask them about their username because like mine's just based on the house that we used to live in when I was like 5 or 6. I just named the farm like the Brea farm that I had just like Amber's Corner because that was what the house
yeah.
was called. Um, and that's just stuck, even though we've completely moved on now. So
See, I always just assumed that your name came from the the full
oh yeah.
the full Amber. I thought it was just from that.
Oh no. Um, no, it was just based on the house that we used to live in, but
Yeah, and I
um,
know a lot of people use their like Briar Barn name as their username as well, don't they?
yeah, I think it's really common for that. But it's always interesting to ask.
Yeah,
Have you got any models in your collection that you kind of underappreciate or you think are underrated in the hobby?
yeah. So the Smart Ciccolina mold,
Yes.
I've got three of those. They're not any of the special ones or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people don't like it. It's not one that you see in photo shows a lot that often either.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the newer molds get more of the spotlight in photo showing now, but I am a really big fan of that mold, and I'd love to get um the glossy, is it quill, the appy.
Yes, I think
I'd
so.
love to have him at one point.
Mhm. That would be really cool. I only have one. I only have big checks to cash. I'd like to get
Oh,
some more, but yeah.
I got a big checks cash, top silver and maker in Let's Go done it, and I think Big Checks Cash is my favourite because I really wanted him as a child. And I remember I had asked for him for Christmas from my parents, and he was out of stock. So I ended up getting, I think it was Zenyatta instead.
Oh,
So I'm not complaining because I did get a really nice model, but when I finally came back to collecting and being able to buy my own models, I managed to buy myself a Big Checks to Cash.
I managed to get mine off eBay because I was in a similar position when I was a kid. I was like, he was kind of a grail when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
then I never managed to get him. And then I got a part-time job and like started earning money, and he was the first thing I bought.
I'm so glad that I managed to get him. Mine's really beat up. He's not going to be winning any ribbons anytime soon, but he's going to stay right where he's at.
That's really sweet. Do you have any other models that you kind of think are underappreciated in your collection that you'd like to kind of shout out or talk about?
I think for me, my collection, when I was, like I said, when I was younger, I was bought, was it Mistral Hodris?
Mm-hmm.
And I still have him in my collection now. And I'm not really a fan of the mold. I barely take him off my shelves, but when I do kind of appreciate how nice of a model he is. And I know that he's quite sought after actually now.
Yeah, I think so. It's like those weird old regular runs that, you know, just are completely ignored when they're produced, but sometime later they're just, everyone wants one suddenly.
Yeah, it's like me with Fox Valley Oliver now.
Oh, have you not managed to find one?
So
Oh, that's such a shame.
I did find one, and I was just ever so slightly too late to get it.
Oh, that's such a shame.
So I just missed out, but one
I'm,
day.
I'm surprised they're so like not rare, but really hard to come across now, because when they were being produced, they were just everywhere.
Yeah, like you used to see them in everyone's like band tours on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So where have they all gone?
I don't know. It's so weird. Mine's got a little bit of paint like flaking off his cheek. I got him when he first came out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's starting to deteriorate a little bit. I used to play with him quite a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with him, because he's like a black mostly model, that the marks just show up on him. So if I do find one, a lot of the times they're in not as good of a condition as what I would like them to be in.
Yeah. I found as well that mine really struggle to fit on my shelf because I have little dividers on my shelves to stop them dominoing.
It's a good idea.
It's helped on so many occasions because my room is like the floorboards are quite like you stand on it and models fall over and you're like, oh no. So it's been really useful, but he doesn't fit at all. So I've got four of them now, four Othellos, and they're just a nightmare. Can't keep
Which four do you have?
So I've got Fox Valley Oliver, Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
his full name. Xavier, and a custom as well.
Nice.
A good bunch, but they're really annoying to keep.
I started off with Phoenix. He was one that when I came back to collecting, I definitely wanted to get something on the Othello mold. My first choice was going to be obviously Fox Valley Oliver, but I never managed to find him. So I went for the other regular run that was out. I think Phoenix is a fairly newer regular run, isn't he, in terms of things, but I got Phoenix, and then I went ahead and got the Christmas horse.
Oh yeah, Winter Song.
Yeah, that's him. And actually, just before I received my collectible appreciation box, I managed to get a Mariah's Boon.
Oh, I'm really envious of that.
Yes. Who I assumed was a mare because of its name, but is actually a stallion.
Oh, I don't think they do a mare variation of Othello, do they?
I don't think so, no. I think that was just me assuming with his name. But...
Do you have a whole room for your model horses? Do you have like a hobby room?
Unfortunately not. Just in a little corner of my bedroom. It used to just be a cupboard, but we took the doors off and stuck some shelves in there. But we've run out of room in here now, so the spare bedroom is going to be getting a shelf in it very soon.
I love the expansion. Instead of selling, you're just like, no, I'm just going to expand.
Until we need to buy a bigger house.
This is the thing. I think I'm going to have to buy a house with enough space to accommodate. So I'm going to have to get a really good job.
Oh yeah, me too, definitely.
Have you got anything else in the hobby that you'd like to talk about or like raise awareness to or anything?
Yeah, I was wondering how you go about logging your collection, as you said that you've got such a big collection of models, and how do you keep on top of all of those?
So I used to use OneNote and have like a page. So it would be a folder for each mold, and then each model would have a particular page in that. And I just have a template that I'd fill in with all like the information and documentation for it. But now I've moved over to Notion, which is a lot better because it's like a proper database software. And you can have images and stuff like that as well. It's so much better. So I use it in a similar way where I have kind of tabs for different congas, and then each model has a page within those.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then like I have a little biography for each one, so where they came from, and then if I've taken them to any shows, they kind of get a little what happened at the show kind of thing. But I also have a little printout, little slip of paper for each one that I put in front of them on the shelf, that has their show name, their bar name, and their code that I use to like so if anyone has to access my collection and my like the log of it, they can just type in that code into the database and it takes them to that model's page.
Oh, that's quite cool.
So it's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just what I do to log them. I don't use tags because the stablemates I don't have dividers between. So using tags with them just makes the rest of them fall over. It's so annoying to pick them all up again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I log mine. Do you log yours at all?
I just use an Excel spreadsheet for mine, with like the name, the show name, the year that I got them, the year that they came out, things like that. And then I also have like two folders, for one for OF Traditionals, one for my OF stablemates. And in there is where I have a photograph of the model, and I write down all of the photo shows, and that's where the ribbons and stuff go in those folders too.
Oh, cool. I do a similar thing with ribbons. I have binders and then plastic bullets that you put the ribbons in and stuff. But I'm struggling to find somewhere to store rosettes.
Yeah, at the minute I've just chucked the rosettes in the folders too. I don't have too many of those, but
that's fair. I only have like 3, but
it makes them so bulky though, the folders.
Yeah, it's so annoying to store the folders when you got a rosette in it. So just trying to find somewhere to hang them.
Are you going to be doing Briarfest this year?
I wasn't going to, and now I'm really tempted, having seen the limited editions.
Yeah.
Because it was, the first one I was like, meh, but the rest of them I've kind of been like, yeah, I kind of do want those. So probably will get.
I do need Chardonnay. I also really like the Idicus as well.
Yes, I think he's gorgeous. I love a bay.
I'm trying to talk myself out of liking him though, because I don't have anything else than the Idicus molds. And like I say, I like to collecting congas. So if I get him, I need more Idicuses.
They're really hard to come across actually though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think his name's Bo, the grey Pinto.
Yeah.
He's much easier to come across than the original Idicus.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad.
But are you going to get any of the special runs or as pickups or not?
I'm tempted to, but I guess I'll see how much I can save up for the event and then yeah.
And I've found a pickup person, but I don't actually like any of the special runs.
Oh. Like at all, or just not enough?
I like the Astrid, but the main isn't doing it for me. To me, it looks too upright.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not as flowing as I would like it to be. I actually really like it. Like I prefer the Fjord variation.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they've done a variation.
The colour on that is really nice though.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, I think it's just me being picky with the models that I want congas of, and none of those I would want any more on that pose.
Mm-hmm. That's really fair.
But I am tempted to still get a surprise model.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I would like it to be a Shannondale, if possible.
I wouldn't mind Shannondale. I also wouldn't mind an Othello, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if they would do Othello as a surprise model.
They
There's
might.
already so many of him.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like them to do it though. I'd like them to use like a not an old like vintage mold, but not one that's been like produced a lot recently.
Yeah. Do you have any like favourite years of surprise models?
Oh, well, I've only recently kind of got into looking at Breyer Fest because I used to not do it so that I wouldn't get upset that I wasn't going. So I think I don't really know, to be honest. Last year I really liked with the Dundees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're probably my favorite because they were so varied that I really like those, and I love the decorator.
Last year.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't like the decorator. That was the only one. I was praying to the model horse gods that I wasn't going to get that decorator.
Everyone I saw of them, I was just like, oh, I want that one and that one, and I've managed to get two of them now because I got one straight from Breyer Fest and then another one I got secondhand.
Which two did you get?
The kind of the Roan, Bay Roan, Sabino, and the Pintalusa.
Oh, I really like the Pintalusa.
He's really nice in person, like really nice. Would thoroughly recommend getting him.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a glossy.
Oh, which one did you get?
Oh, I have no idea what the colour's called. It's like the Roan paint looking thing.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh nice.
Yeah, I'm not very good with colours. I don't know which one it is.
That's really cool. So thank you so much for coming on today. I've really enjoyed having you. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
In this episode's Maybe They're Barn With It, we're featuring Ren Restorations. Her Instagram features beautiful photos of her restoration and commission work of both vintage and modern models. She started painting models because she has always had an intense love for art and for horses. She says that she's been painting and drawing for as long as she can remember, as horses have been such a big influence on her life. During our interview, she said that she's only been restoring models seriously for about 3 years, but has always had a love for vintages and antiques and has always been a collector. She's been working in a restoration studio since 2019 which handles antique and vintage dolls, doll reproductions and any figurine under the sun. At this studio, she's worked on everything from plastic, celluloid, ceramic, resin, porcelain, papier-mâché, plaster and more. She didn't start painting and restoring her own horses until her first Breyer Fest in 2019. She says that it's always been so intimidating and that there were so many mediums and techniques to learn. She decided to jump into the pasteling workshop provided at Breyer Fest as she loves the slow and subtle build of pastels. She also took the porcelain repair class and stopped at the Clarion to buy her first restoration project, a Hagen Renneker miniature rearing horse in matte white. All 4 of his legs and his tail were broken and held together with old plasters. She says that the seller was very surprised that she wanted him and told her that he came from an elderly lady's collection who had recently passed. Apparently, she used to play with him, hence his condition. He was $2 and he started her craving to repair and preserve model horses. She says that her collection has a little bit of everything from Breyer to tulips, ceramic, metal and wood. The majority of her collection is vintage and she loves the idea of preserving pieces of model history. She says that most of her restoration commissions can't stay as they're only visiting for some much needed TLC. Her favourite part of restoring is sending them back home good as new. Any model she customises or paints stays with her as she spends a lot of time on them and gets really attached. She says that she doesn't have a favourite colour or mould to restore. The toughest colours to match are Breyer Smoke Grey and anything on the Honey Bay spectrum, but she can restore pretty much any colour, no matter if it's realistic or not, and says that decorators are more fun to colour match. She says she has a lot of whips and projects with lots of ponies waiting for new clothes, but her main focus is growing her restoration studio. Ren Restorations takes restoration commissions and tries to keep her studio as open as possible. She's given me her contact email to read out as she knows not everyone has Instagram. It's renrestorations16@gmail.com. So if you have a model that needs some TLC, definitely get in contact. She's based in the US, but drop her a DM if you'd like to discuss a restoration project. I'd just like to thank Ren Restorations for being our feature artist on this episode. I can't wait to see where your studio goes. Repair artists are so important within the hobby, and it's so exciting to see an incredibly talented one growing their studio. It just remains for me to say a huge thank you to the affiliates of this episode: Breyer Sport, Ecliptic Equines, Anna Sonata Art, Applemead Breyers, and Wren Restorations. I hope that you'll join us next time for a new feature artist, model horse news, guests, and a new section featuring the differences in the showing world between the UK and the US. Please get in touch with @Amber's Corner Stables on Instagram or leave a comment with what you'd like to hear discussed in the next episode. Anyone who does this will be featured as an affiliate. Feel free to nominate feature artists, reports of photo or live shows you've attended, or DM me if you'd like to be a guest on the show. Thank you for listening and for your continued support.